Hey, good evening, everybody. Monday, November 9th, 2020. Welcome back to New World News. I am Casey. Thank you for joining me. Today's huge news, it rocked the stock market, rocked the news world, and everything down, is that Pfizer, the pharmaceutical company, Pfizer Pharma, Pfizer, has announced that they have a COVID-19 coronavirus vaccine that has been tested. I believe it was over 43,000 people and shown to be more than 90% effective. Early results. So no vaccine is 100%. So being 90% is essentially really good in their eyes. So Dr. Albert Bourla, I believe it's Bourla, is Pfizer's CEO, and he was in contact with President Trump on the vaccine's timeline. So let's think back to about 2 to 3 weeks ago, pre-election. Donald Trump did a debate and an interview on the news, I can't remember who it was, maybe Fox or ABC, where he said there was a vaccine that was just a few weeks out, and literally the moderator of the debate and the news things were like, a few weeks? What? Are you sure? Did you check that? You're a liar. But wait, he was talking to Pfizer. Pfizer, probably the largest or one of the largest pharmaceutical companies in the world, if not, in this country, if not the world, was telling him we'll be ready in a couple weeks. And no one believed him. But imagine that. After the election, it's announced. Why not? Obviously, if they knew to announce it, they knew this weekend, they knew last week, they knew they were going to put it out. Why now? Why not last week? Just another thing to add to the list, right? So drug maker Pfizer, this is from the New York Times. Drug maker Pfizer announced Monday an early analysis of its coronavirus vaccine trial suggested the vaccine was robustly effective in preventing COVID-19, not a cure, preventing. And a promising development as the world is anxiously related. The pandemic has killed more than 1.2 million people, if you believe that number. Pfizer, which developed a vaccine with the German drug maker BioNTech, which is another one that Trump mentioned, look it up, released only sparse details from the clinical trial. The company said the analysis found the vaccine was more than 90% effective. If the results hold up, the level of protection would put it up on par with highly effective childhood vaccines for disease such as the measles. No serious safety concerns have been observed. They plan to ask the Food and Drug Administration, the FDA, for emergency authorization of the 2-dose vaccine, so 2 doses of it, later this month after it's collected the recommended 2 months of safety data. So they're about a month and a half in. They need about 2 more weeks to clear the 2 months safety data. By the end of the year, it will said to have manufactured enough doses to immunize 15 to 20 million people. A historic moment, a senior vice president and the head of research and development at Pfizer has said, Katherine Jansen. The news comes just days after Joe Biden clinched a victory over President Trump. Trump had repeatedly hinted a vaccine would be ready by Election Day, November 3rd. We're a week late, tomorrow's a week, but it was ready days ago, so right on par. And Dr. Albert Bourla, the CEO of Pfizer, had said they would be ready by October 31st, which just a week later, Election Day was 3 days later. So they were right on their timeline within about a week. Not bad. If that's what they were saying, that's not bad, right? You can't give them a hard time over a week. Stocks surged on the news. The S&P gained 1.2%. So the the Dow Jones was up 15 or 1,600 points. I think it ended up 834 points at the end of the day, but it was up huge all day on the news because things like airlines and shopping malls and operators, all their stocks soared because they're hoping to have vaccines and they can open back up as normal. 11 vaccines are in late-stage trials, including 4 in the United States. It could bode well for Moderna's vaccine, which uses a similar technology. Moderna's spokesman said that it expected interim findings from its study this month, so another company right behind them. Operation Warp Speed, the federal effort to rush a vaccine to market, has promised Pfizer $1.95 billion to deliver 100 million doses to the federal government, which will be given to Americans free of charge. So the government is paying $1.95 billion to Pfizer to get those doses. But Dr. Jansen sought to distance the company from Operation Warp Speed and presidential politics, noting that the company, unlike other vaccine frontrunners, did not take any federal money to help pay for research and development. Pfizer paid for it out of its own pocket. It certainly will take the 1.95 billion, I assure you. We were never part of warp speed, she said on Sunday. We have never taken any money from the U.S. government or from anyone. On Monday, a spokeswoman for Pfizer clarified that the company is part of Operation Warp Speed as a supplier of the virus. So that's the same thing, right? Like, hey, we're going to give you $2 billion and you're going to get us all this stuff. Are they or aren't they? We don't know. Dr. Jansen said she learned the results from the outside panel of experts shortly after 1 p.m. on Sunday, and that the timing was not influenced by the election. Bullshit. I'm calling it. We've always said that the science is driving how we conduct ourselves, not politics. No, money is driving you, Pfizer. Money. $2 billion for something that you'll have done in a couple of months? Absolutely. How long did they take to research and develop it? Well, it couldn't have been more than 9 months because, well, we're only 9 months into this. They probably didn't start for about 6 months. So 6 months of work, $2 billion, not bad for that company. The data released by Pfizer Monday was delivered in a news release. So let's see what Pfizer's yearly revenues are on a normal basis. They're billions of dollars. There's no doubt about it. Let's see what they are. They are revenues of $51.75 billion. So 10%, this is 5% of their revenue in one thing. Operating income of $16 billion and net income of $16.27 billion, with total assets totaling $167 billion and equity of $63 billion. Down 88,000 employees. That's impressive. That's a huge company. And excuse me while I use that word huge a lot. So, there you go. So my question to you guys, I'll link the story below. Also, the 834 points on the Pfizer COVID-19 breakthrough, as the NASDAQ did dip, but the Dow Jones added that 834 points. What do you guys think? What's your reaction to Pfizer announcing a vaccine? Will you take it? Will you line up to take it? What if it's mandatory? What are your thoughts if they say if you don't take this vaccine, you can't leave your house, you can't go out, you can't go into restaurants, you can't go into public buildings. If you're found to be in public with no vaccine, you'll be arrested, you'll be fined, you'll be blah, blah, blah. As if mask isn't bad enough, right? What do you think of being forced twice now, mind you, twice, it's a 2-dose vaccine, twice with a needle with something that has only been tested for a matter of months, and they say there's no side effects, but can we really tell if there's side effects after just a couple of months? I don't know. Anyways, I want your guys' opinion. Pfizer announcing that they have indeed come up with a vaccine for the coronavirus that's 90% effective. We'll have to see. We'll wait and see for the next couple of weeks. They need about 2 weeks for the final safety checks. That'll put us into December almost, and then obviously they're going to try to get 10 to 15 million people. My guess is those 10 and 15 million people would be doctors, nurses, frontline workers, medics, scientists, probably government officials, politicians, military leaders. All those type of people would be first in line, not you and I. I will never be in line for it. Just to give you guys a clear understanding, at no point will anyone forcefully put a needle in my arm and tell me that I have to take something to live life. We don't live in Germany, in 1930s Germany, and I never will. I'll leave this country before that happens. Call it, screenshot it, mark it down. People make jokes about, I'm leaving the country at Biden. I don't care who gets voted. It's not about who's the president to me. You will not tell me what I'm going to do with my body, ever, period. Done. I'll give up my entire life to fight it. So I just want to hear what you guys have to say. Long story short, I'm not an anti-vaxxer. Kids getting vaccines for measles that have had decades to test them and know that they work, that's totally different than this. They don't know jack crap about this other than $2 billion. So just keep that in mind. Money, follow the money. Okay, I'll let you guys go. Leave me your opinions, thoughts, comments below. I'll read as many as I can, respond to them as I get them. Appreciate you guys as always. Thank you so much. Again, it's Monday, November 9th, 2020. Pfizer announcing the release of and successful testing of, to the 90 percentile, a coronavirus COVID-19 vaccine. 15 to 20 million people by the end of the year, 100 million people by January or February. Conveniently enough, announced 1 week after the election, where Donald Trump said that it would be out and everyone called him a liar. So have a wonderful night, guys. I look forward to the comments. We'll see what happens.